let's jump into it because the NFL owners meetings was earlier this week. First of all, and I saw this one, and this one is just completely egregious. This is Rule 12, Section 3, 1D, okay? Unsportsmanlike conduct, prohibited acts. There shall be no unsportsmanlike conduct. This applies to any act which is contrary to the generally understood principles of sportsmanship, acts such as acts that specifically include, among others, and this is the new one that they added, Article 1, Section D. Any violent gesture which shall include but not be limited to a throat slash, simulating firing, or brandishing a gun. And then here's the one that really is just full out no fun league classic NFL football. You guys you ready for this one? As I fiddle with my headphones for the 10th time in the first 10 minutes of the show, or using the nose wipe gesture. I'm not making that up. Put the camera right there, the camera. I don't know if you can see it because the camera's a little bit out of focus. But then who tweeted this? This was Benjamin Slowak, who works for ESPN, tweeted this on the 26th of March. I saw it at the time, but I wanted to, have a window of NFL talk that I could squeeze my 2 cents to. So this now, when CeeDee Lamb, he catches, a 5-yard slant pattern across the middle of the field to keep a Dallas Cowboy drive alive to move the football into the opponent's side of the 50, and he gets up and he goes like this, keep the change moving, first down, Dallas Cowboys. Him doing this now is a 15-yard unsportsman. I mean, it gets to the point where the NFL, where it's like you have become so much of a joke, and the people that run your sport, whether it's Goodell himself, the collection of owners, or your dopey competition committee, you have become such a joke, and you have made, all pockets of y'all have made such a heinous and borderline laughable mockery of the sport that you read stuff like this, and it's all you can do is laugh and just put your head down and shake your head. That's all you can do at this point. The fact that getting up, either running for a first down, catching a pass for a first down, and me getting up and doing this, literally just taking my index finger, wiping it across the front of this isn't basketball where they don't, or baseball where they don't wear a helmet and a face mask that blocks their face. They got their face masks on. So me taking my index finger and doing like this across the front of my face mask and looking forward is now on the sportsman. I mean, you got to be freaking kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. That is an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I mean, if you're the National Football League, you got to be trolling us at this point. I mean, I don't know what more. I'm speechless because it's just I don't know. You are a multi-billion-dollar company that is loved by millions of people. And the nose wipe celebration is now a 15 for being a quote unquote violent gesture. It says you want to say crass, you want to say immature. Okay, fine. Wiping your nose. Okay, if you're a prude and you want to say that's crass, that's nasty. Okay, fine, whatever. What exactly is? I don't get it. And it's the violent gesture. By the way, this is the same National Football League, by the way, that was hell-bent on playing a full season. Now, give them credit because they were able to do so successfully. But this is the same National Football League, by the way, that crammed and shoehorned an entire season minus their international games and a 4-game at the time preseason schedule. Same NFL that shoehorned a season in the middle of a once-in-a-century pandemic that killed millions of people. A pandemic that was still going on, killing people, hospitalizing people left and right. The NFL felt, rightly or wrongly, felt the need to play and continue their business and that was fine. But wiping the nose apparently is it crosses some line. I, for the love of God, I do not understand it. I don't understand it. I mean, no fun. I mean, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh to keep yourself from getting pissed because it's one of you ever like you walk around either at work or you recall the days when you were in school and the higher ups made or passed the rule that when you thought about it and you got to the root reason of why the rule was incorporated, you said to yourself, what the fuck is the point? It's like what does this rule being in effect, what does it accomplish? I get it. I it's a little, yeah, but I can understand why, me getting up and going like this to a player going, when I get up and I catch a touchdown pass, or me, doing, the scene from Major League where all the guys in the press box or whatever, and Bob, I think it was Bob Euchre. Yeah, it was Bob Euchre, God rest his soul, said something or something happened in the game, and he looked over to the press box and all the guys that was in the press, the jerk off, which is essentially the what the fuck? I can't even get. I mean, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh to keep yourself from going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, that if that isn't peak no fun league, NFL no fun league, I don't know what is, because you cannot sit up here and tell me that rule was created with the idea in mind to, I mean, when you think about why a law is created and then eventually passed, there has to be an element of it where you see it's like, okay, its point, its goal, its purpose is to stop, eradicate, outlaw, punish XYZ, because XYZ leads to this, and this, which delivers a negative outcome for a given individual or collection of people. So I understand. Now it's a little, it's very juvenile, I think, to go out of your way because they somehow think that a professional athlete motioning with the guns, a la John Morant, which I get to later, is going to lead to the next mass shooting in this country, which I don't take that serious. But but to a certain extent, I understand where they come from. They don't necessarily want the faces of their brand getting up and acting like they're firing off AK-47s any single time they catch a touchdown pass, or they convert on 3rd and 7. I understand all that. And also in the same vein, why they don't want players, doing any physical celebrations that has a crass sexual innuendo around it. I get it. People's grandmamas watch football. You watch football as a family. It's a family oriented event. You got young kids that go to the game. Now, granted, it's also hypocritical because they also promote gambling and beer and drinking, and if you watch a game on TV, you get the promos of the adult targeted TV shows. So it's you find hypocrisy everywhere you look, but within the confines of the rules themselves, I maybe not be totally on board with it, but I can see where they're coming from. The simple wipe, I mean, what, really? What? Because CeeDee Lamb getting up and wiping his nose, that's an unsportsmanlike act, and that's something that's a negative influence on America's youth. Give me a break. Kids literally wipe their noses with their hands literally all the time. This is what kids do. And if some high schooler or if some Pop Warner football player, age 13 years old, gets up who exactly do they hurt? I would much rather, if you want to, play a game of pick your poison, I would much rather have a player get up and do this when they convert, or go bang, 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 or grab the crotch, or go let me slide back, or go like this, or go like this to an opponent. I would much rather have them go just a simple, it's innocent, it's harmless, it ain't disrespectful, don't hurt nobody's feelings. Is it, like I said, a little crass because it's mimicking the notion of, wiping your nose with your bare hand, which is disgusting when your nose is running? Yeah, but I mean, it's making a mountain out of a molehill for no reason. Making a mountain out of a molehill for no reason. What is unsportsmanlike? What's violent about doing this? And again, the same NFL that played in a once in a century pandemic. You talking about violent? I mean, come on. No fun league at it again. And the fact that's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's going. CeeDee Lamb's going to catch it. He's going to do it. Forget that it's against the NFL law now, and the Cowboys going to get flagged for an asinine, unsportsmanlike conduct. It's funny. The NFL loves to do everything in their power to make the game as offensive centric as humanly possible, except when it comes to creating these stupid ass rules. The biggest threat to NFL offenses is these dumbass rules that take yardage away from them simply just being themselves and being human by virtue of celebrations. There's more teeth and more of a defensive backbone in these dumbass rules than there is within the defensive game of football itself in 2025. I don't know. It's so stupid. It is so stupid that doing whoever was the I would love to speak. Was this another John Mara special? Oh, we really need to cut down on the taunting. We God forbid these black professional $1 million athletes just express themselves and celebrate. We really got to cut down on the taunting because the taunting is just such a disgusting disgrace to American fabric and American society. And I got my grandkids watching this shit. And was this another John Mara special? I'm dead ass serious. Was this another genius idea from John Mara that came in between his ears? I would love to know who the jackasses were amongst the competition committee. So that's fellow NFL head coaches and GMs and owners. I'd love to know who was the idiot that said, you know what? You know what's really killing our sport right now, and something that provides such a negative image that we have got to extinguish right here, right now? The CeeDee Lamb nose wipe celebration. And come to think of it off the top of my head, I think he's like the only player that does it. Or if he's not the only player that does it, he's the only player of major significance and importance and stardom that does it. It's his thing. Like, who cares? Would I do it? No, because I'm a germaphobe like that. Wiping those, just not something that I would do. But who gives a damn? Who cares? I don't get it. I don't know how that celebration inflicts a negative image or anything negative or anything violent or anything unbecoming to the National Football League. Like that literally is one of the more harmless, more innocent things about football that I can think of or talk about off the top of my head, and now all of a sudden it's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, you must be kidding me. You must forget the fact, we promote gambling with the gambling partners, and we've had decades long sponsorships with beer companies. Forget that. Forget the fact that we can dance with the more sexual provocative side of things, whether it's and I got no problem with it, but I mean, if we want to sit up here and start pearl clutching, I mean, let's just go down the list. With the cheerleaders and the skimpy outfits, we with halftime shows, with when we have our halftime talent at our Super Bowls wearing provocative outfits, for 13 minutes in front of a worldwide audience. You want to go to you want to talk about the people that talk sports for a living, some of which that go on television that work for television partners that you have broadcasting contracts with that go on television, and where cross the line. Some of them, I'm not going to name names, cross the line between, looking professional and flirting with the line of being a little bit too, over the top, provocative, and putting themselves out there more than what they really should, because they're there to be on television, talk about sports, not necessarily, this is not a Project Runway or America's, Next Top Model, or them putting together an OnlyFans audition. But which again, I got no problem with. But if we want to, start pro clutching and going down the line and oh, woe is me, poor America's youth, what is I gonna do being a negative influence? I mean, let's if we're gonna open up Pandora's box, let's go there. The gambling, the drinking, the provocativeness. I mean, we want to start, pearl clutch and start worrying about, Meemaw watching games up in Lambeau Field, 95 years of age, and God forbid, my little kid, sees a kid, with the gun. If we want to go there, let's go there. But if we're going to go there, we're going to go there 130% deep into the pool. We're going to dive in feet first, somersault into the pool. So if we want to open up Pandora's box and go there, let's go there with full 130% effort. Let's not just pick and choose and play Mr. Cafeteria Morals Police to fit some asinine narrative or just to be difficult. Want to go there, let's go there. CBS and Fox and them airing promos of horror movies and television shows that's got crime and murder and gore and sexual relation. I mean, if we want to go there, let's go there. The decades-long sponsorship deals they've had with Bud Light and Coors Light, let's go there. Want to go there, let's go there. Promoting gambling, want to go there, you can't escape it in 2025. Not just with the NFL and fans, with every sport. If we really want to go there, let's go there. Well, because God forbid, some 8-year-old kid that's a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan sees CeeDee Lamb do this when he catches a pass and converts on 3rd and 4 to keep the drive alive, and he says, "Oh, that's cool. CeeDee Lamb does it. So in my flag football game, at school during recess on Friday, and I catch a pass for a touchdown, whatever, I'm gonna get up and do that too." I also, and this is something that I really, 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 really can't stand. The overtime rule. And if you guys have listened to me for the past, how many years has it been? 3-4 years? I cannot stand the over infatuation and the unhealthy obsession with the NFL's overtime rules. And I was on record and I said it the show after that weekend at the time. I have stood 10 toes down on this from the moment the conversation erupted back in January of 2022. If you have such a big deal with quarterbacks not touching the football in overtimes, it's a simple solution. 2 things. 1, play better in the first 60 so overtime is not needed. Or 2, if you lose the coin toss, play defense and find a way to get the hell off the field on 3rd and 4th downs. Simple. No other conversation needs to be had. Last I checked, it's not just the quarterbacks and the wide receivers pulling down multi-millions of dollars to play the game of football at the professional level in the National Football League. And if you take it, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, those guys get paid very handsomely to get after the quarterback and to stop opposing offenses from moving the football downfield plays at a time. They get paid, they get compensated just as much on their side of the ball as the offensive players do on the offensive side of the football. You got a problem with Josh Allen not seeing the field in the overtime of the Bills-Chiefs Classic from 3 going on 4 years ago? Stop them. And it started then, and I couldn't stand it. And then, do I got to play Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River? People was crying, forget a river. People was crying an ocean for Josh Allen. Oh, poor Josh Allen. He played his heart out. He played so well, put together such a magnificent performance. He didn't see the field in overtime. You know what? Tough. Maybe if his head coach wasn't an idiot and screwed up the squib kick situation, and Leslie Frazier knew how to, not essentially gift the Kansas City Chiefs 20 yards of open field in the final 13 seconds of that fourth quarter. Maybe if he was surrounded by competent coaching and a competent defense, which didn't show up, maybe he could have won the game. But you know what? Life's not fair. Professional sports isn't fair. Life in the NFL's not fair. All is fair in love and war. Got a problem? Play defense. Surround yourself with a better coaching staff and have and better teammates. Woe is me. BFD. He didn't see the field. Didn't touch the ball in the overtime. Tough. I'm so sick of this participation trophy culture seething its disgusting ether into sports. And if you notice, as time's gone on, it went from Little League and Pee Wee and Pop Warner to travel ball, and it just to high school, and then the higher the level, the more it started to rise and start to take over. And now it's infected professional sports, and particularly the NFL with these damn overtime rules. Oh, both teams got to touch the football. So then people bitched and moaned and screamed until, you know what, the NFL said, you know what, the hell with it. Both teams touched the football in the postseason. And then now it's infected from playoff football in January, and in the Super Bowls in the case of Kansas City and the 49ers 2 seasons ago. Now it's infected regular season football. But the thing that really has my ass chapped is that we're going to have both teams see the field regardless of who scores and scores what on the opening possession of the game. But in the regular season, somewhat understand in the postseason and the playoffs, I can understand because you got to play until there's a winner. You can't have a game end in a tie. So if a game goes 2, 3, 4 overtimes, you got to be able to play until there's a winner because it's an elimination trying to crown a champion. The playoffs, I get it. I can't stand it, but you know what? It's not like that if both teams go out there and score a touchdown first drive of the game, we keep playing until there's a winner. Whatever. If they get tired, the hell with it. We play until there's a winner because it's playoffs. Win or go home. I get it to that extent. And I can't stand it, but on some level, I can find a floor of understanding. With this, I find no floor of understanding because it's regular season football. And the only change to the overtime rule the way when they first changed it in 2011, it was perfect. Team that touches the field first, they score a touchdown, game over. No problem with it. And they gave the other team an opportunity to allow, to entice teams to play to score the touchdown, put the ball in the end zone rather than kicking the field. So they changed it. So if you kick a field goal, you're opening possession, the other team, which was fine. It was fine the way it was. And what does the NFL do, as they've been accustomed to doing since the turn of the decade? Changing shit that doesn't need to be changed. Fixing stuff that does not need to be fixed. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with the overtime rules. I don't give a damn about Josh Allen and his feelings. I don't give a shit about Bills Mafia. I don't give a damn about Sean McDermott. They did not need to be changed. Point blank, period. Because the following week in the AFC Championship game, Kansas City and Cincinnati, Kansas City won the toss, got the ball. Know what the Bengals did? They learned a thing called defense, and they forced a turnover on Kansas City's opening possession. Jesse Bates, Von Bell interception. Bengals marched down the field, ran a little bit of clock, pounded the rock. Evan McPherson game-winning field goal. Bengals go to Super Bowl. And Kansas City stays their asses. I mean, it's like they get paid to do their job too. Stop making football out to be fucking rocket science. It's a simple game. Stop trying to overcomplicate it. Can't stand it. Play defense. It was that damn simple. Same Chiefs team with the same players out there on the field. Just a week later with a little bit bigger stakes on the line with it being a championship game. Bengals found a way to play defense. Buffalo couldn't. That's Buffalo's problem. Not Cincinnati's, not the rest of the National Football League. Josh Allen don't get to see the field. Tough. And if the Kansas City would have went down the field and scored a touchdown opening drive, I guarantee you I would have said, you know what? Bengals, they fought it around majority of the game, They should have won the game in the first 60. You don't win in the first 60. Kansas City goes downfield, score a touchdown, win the game. You know what? Them's the breaks. Them's the breaks. Play better. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. Excuses are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all stink. They all stink. Like this damn overtime rule change. But in a postseason, I get it. You play till there's a winner. But the thing about this adaptation of both teams touching the football in the regular season overtimes that make no sense is that, A, the game can still end in a tie. So, and it's on the line of being as ass backwards as baseball with the Manfred Man. The whole reason why they say they incorporated the Manfred Man is so that they would no longer have the 15, 16, 17, 18 inning long baseball games. But by virtue of putting a runner on second base, you're making it easier to score. And by virtue of making it easier to score in extra innings in the regular season, there's a greater chance of a likelihood. Now, we haven't had it yet because it's worked to some extent in eliminating the long games. But how many times since 2020 have we seen what the Manfred Man on second base in the extra? How many baseball games we've seen in the regular season where the games don't end just in 10? We see them go 11, 12, 13, 14 innings. So granted, we don't have the 16, 17, 18 inning marathons anymore, but we still have a little bit of a longer extra inning game at times at the course of a 162. Because why? It's easier to score runs. It's easier to produce runs when you got a artificial manufactured base runner standing 180 feet away from home plate. It's harder to score a run with no traffic on the bases, opening up extra innings. A team plates a run or two home, they don't get to start the next half inning with the tying run automatically up at the plate. It's just as ass backwards with football. Well, the key, we want to sit here and we want to find a winner. Postseason, I get it. You play until there's a winner. No ties. Regular season, we still got ties. So we want to make sure both teams still have a chance to score, but at the same time, we're not going to eliminate ties. So the game is just going to just prolong anyway. And yet all you ever hear is how much coaches can't stand the fact that the team's got to play the extra period, especially if it's on a week where they have a short week or they're coming off of a short week and they don't want their players basically tucking themselves out playing an extra quarter's worth of football. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Both teams can touch the football, but if both teams essentially trade scores back and forth and they're both tied after 10 minutes, then we just end in a tie. So you don't get the result of a winner or lose like you do in the playoffs. There's no definitive winner or lose, which is why you play the games. Instead, it ends in a tie, and then you introduce a possibility of both teams wearing themselves out for an unnecessary 10 minutes. And they don't get the definitive verdict of being a winner or a loser after busting their ass for 70 minutes. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Stupid, dumb, and counterintuitive. And pointless. It really is. The only thing that needed to fix with the overtime rules was no ties in the regular season. They don't have ties in the regular season in hockey. They don't have ties in the regular season, to my knowledge, in soccer. And they don't have ties in the regular season in baseball. I understand you may not want a 5 overtime game in the regular season, but you know what? Come up with something different. Do the 2-point conversion thing like we have in college. Once you play an overtime or two, then you just go to 2-point conversions, or you want to involve, an element of hockey and or plus soccer and go to like a shootout or a kick or a kickoff type thing where you just have teams kick field goals from the 25-yard line and just go further and further back. Come up with something. But no, we're still going to have ties. And we're not going to extend the period an extra 15 minutes and you've never seen an NFL, at least I haven't, to my knowledge. I can't recall an NFL drive taking up an entire quarter. Come close, but an entire 50 minutes from 15-0-0 to 0-0-0. In all my years of watching NFL football, I cannot recall an entire drive taking up a full 15 minutes. I've seen drives take up 10. Or 9:40 or 9:38 or 9:50. And why do I bring that up? If a team wins the toss, goes down the field and takes up 940 and scores a touchdown, the opposition's got 20 seconds to match to essentially have the game end in a tie because you're not playing a second overtime. Again, another just mind-boggling, stupid note about these rules. They got 20 seconds to tie, or they straight up lose the game. 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 15, whatever. It doesn't extend into another overtime. It's so stupid. It really is. Well, if both teams touch the football, but you know what? If an offense, takes advantage of the loophole and decides to basically take, 9 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock to march down the field and score a touchdown, they might as well just say game's over right then and there. The thing that drives me insane is they introduce, both teams can touch the football in the overtime, but they still have the emphasis in overtime more so on the clock than making sure both teams have an opportunity to touch the football. And that's the part that makes no sense and that I don't like. It's still a race against the clock, not a race against your opponent and making sure that you score first. It's so stupid. It is so mind-bogglingly dumb. I cannot stand the overtime rules as far as I can throw them. I hate them. And a tush push, by the way, should stay. I don't want to hear no bitching and moaning and screaming. It's a dangerous play. Safety of the players, my ass. NFL, my ass. Roger Goodell. You want to jam an 18-game season down the NFL players' throats. You want to play games halfway across the world in the middle of the season. You want to play Thursday night football games. You want to play games on Christmas so you can make an extra gajillion dollars from Netflix, even though Christmas falls on a Wednesday. Shove your player safety rhetoric when it suits you, your convenient player safety rhetoric. Shove it. I don't want to hear it. They love giving me the player safety bull jive and love serving that shit when it's convenient to them to serve and fit the little asinine ass backwards argument for a rule change or something that they want passed during these off-season talking points. Can't stand it. And I don't understand. The pussification with my beloved sport has got to stop. We're going to move touchbacks now to the 35-yard line. Remember once upon a time it was at the 20, and then that wasn't good enough, and they moved it to the 20, 25, and then that wasn't good enough, then they moved to the 30, and then that wasn't good enough, they're going to move. Why not just on touchbacks give the team the ball at their opponent's 30-yard line? Why not just cut the fucking field in half? We can, instead of a 100-yard field, we can play 50 yards like fucking arena football at the point. What? Fuck it. Might as well. They're going to take all the damn defensive strategy out of the game. Hate it. Happened to the game I loved. Not this bullshit. Roger Goodell would hate for me to interview. I'd have him in a verbal straitjacket. How hard I'd press him with my line of questioning. I mean, tell you. Oh, good Lord. No change to the onside. It's funny. They go out of their way to change every single asinine rule in the book, yet fix the ones that need obvious fixing. The ties at the end of overtime and the onside kick. It has become such an obsolete waste of a play. They might as well just get rid of it and just do the 4th and 25 XFL thing. There's no change to the onside kicks. We're going to move, give the offense, that receives the touchback, going to give them the football essentially at about midfield. It's just, I can't stand it. Hate it. Hate everything. I hate what the NFL is becoming. I can't stand it. I love the game of football, but I cannot stand what the NFL is doing to my sport. I hate it. The only positive you get is no more chain gang. They actually, graduate to they heard me screaming and yelling after the championship game with Allen and Buffalo. Again, banning the Tush Push. How many times do we see the Buffalo Bills pull it in the championship game and it didn't work? The Eagles have mastered it into an art form. Tough. Get better at it. Tell your offensive lineman, tell your quarterback to squat more during the week. Tough. Tell your defensive linemen to get in the weight room, stay in the weight room a little bit longer, and work on their quads and their leg muscles and their core. Tough. The Eagles have mastered into an art form. Get the hell over it. You know what you can do? If you can't stop the tush push, here's what you do. You stop the Eagles from putting themselves in a situation where they can execute the tush push, which means keeping them out of short yardage downs, aka keeping them out of 3rd and 4th and 2s and shorter. 3rd and 8, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 12, 3rd and 15. Make sure they either get the first down or you stop them more than 2 yards short of the line of the game. And you tell your defensive players to get their asses in the damn weight room. So sick of it, man. So sick of it. And I also love the fact that the convenient manipulation with the NFL with these rules again. Last thing, and I'm going to move on. They expand the eye in the sky with the replay review official to everything but roughing the passer. The one thing that we scream and yell to the high heavens for the NFL to fix, they don't want to touch. The ties, the onside kicks, the roughing the passer, they won't touch that. Leagues become such a joke nowadays. It's sad. It's sad. It really, really, really is sad. I cannot believe what they're doing to the sport that I love.